Magandang umaga. Magandang umaga, magandang umaga. Malapit na mag-alas 12. So ngayon, ang ating pag-usapan po ay, nako, nagdidelikado na. Nagmamakaawa na po ang presidente ng International Criminal Court. At itong pagmamakaawa ay dahil po sa matinding atake, tumitindi na pong atake ng USA. Saka syempre, number one ng USA laban sa kanila. Ang ginagawa pa ng USA ay pinipressure nila ng Marco Rubio tsaka ni Trump ang mga kakampilang bansa na umalis na sa ICC. So, nag-anunsyo na nga si Tomoko Akani. So, pero before that, ay magkan muna ako. Pakantahin muna natin ang ating pambansang awit ng ating istasyon. Sana ba yun? Dali. Ito yun. Tubig sa kusir, wala na. Okay, ito na, malapit-lapit na. Uy, bakit ito? Graceline, good morning!
Sa Pilipinas, kilala ang tindi. Hindi kayang bayaran ni numan ang kanyang prinsipyo. Kapag may inapi, siya ang nariyan. Kapag may bayaran, siya ang hadlang. Hindi siya tiklop sa pananakot ng iilan. Hindi siya alila ng sino mang mayaman. Kung ang kapangyarihan nila ay inaabuso, hinahawi niya yan mano-mano. Kapag ang taong bayan ang nasasakal, siya ang unang sumusugot, tumatagal. Hindi pera ang sukatan ng halaga, kundi kung sino ang lumalaban para sa masa. Totoo kasing tirador, totoo kasing tirador. Kakapi ng naaapi, kalaban ng sakim na mandarambo.
Ano email ko sa White House? Graceline, ano ginibili mo?
Kasing tirador, hindi kayang bilhin ang puso niyang matibay. Mga magnanakaw sa pondo ng bayan, nanginginig kapag siya ang nandyan. Bawat piso, bawat sentimo, kailangang sagutin sa mata ng tao. Walang ngiti para sa mandarambong walang pwesto, para sa sumisimsim kapag ang hustis.
Salamat, Graceline.
Usapan siya ang bantay sa gitna ng laban. Kung may nilulunod ang kasinungalingan, siya ang boses na hindi tatahimik. Sa bawat galaw ng mapagsamantala, may salubong na paninindigan niya. Totoo kasing tirador, totoo kasing tirador. Kakampi ng naaapi, kalaban ng sakit.
Ohio, gozaimasu.
Totoo kasing tirador, totoo kasing tirador. Hindi kayang bilhin ang puso niyang matibay.
police police.
tirador, katotosing tirador, sa taong bayan nakatayo,
Ayaw mag-black.
hanggang dulo, ang paninindigan.
Nakapayos po. Okay.
Sara, Sara, wala nang iba. Sara, Sara lang pag-asa. Sara, Sara, siya lang makapakulong. Mga kontraktor, ubusin
Salamat, Chris
niya.
Light. Salamat.
Si
Very good ang
BBM
salty.
Sandro, ikulong niya. Si Tamba, Zaldi, ikulong niya. Tapang at malasakit, ibalik para bayan ay manahimik. Durugin ang sindikato sa korte, sa DPUA, sa DS Void, sa PhilHealth.
Okay, dito na tayo ngayon. So, ang ating pag-usapan ay remove na muna yan. Ay lalong umiinit ngayon, umiiyak na po ngayon ang presidente ng International Criminal Court. Hindi kasi sila tinatantanan ng USA. Itong pinakamatindi na nadarama nila, yung namimrisyon, nag-pressure kasi ang US sa lahat ng bansa na huwag na umalis na sa ICC. Yan po ang nangyari sa ngayon. So pakinggan po natin yung madamdaming salita ng president ng ICC na si Tomoko Akane. Isa po siyang lahing Hapon. Tingnan po natin. Ito po si President Tomoko Akane.
28 years ago today, the Rome Statute was born from a shared conviction that the most serious crimes of concern to the international community as a whole must not go unpunished. Its adoption made possible the creation of the International Criminal Court, which is the only permanent international criminal court established to end impunity for the perpetrators of those crimes. Since then, the International Criminal Court has been fulfilling its mandate and is now seized of situations from regions across the world. The court has never been busier, reflecting the continued relevance of its mission. On this International Criminal Justice Day, let us recall that the international rule of law cannot exist without independent judicial institutions that uphold the law through the decisions of impartial judges. The International Criminal Court is one such institution. By exercising its jurisdiction over individuals accused of committing the most serious crimes of concern to the international community, the court provides a necessary mechanism for accountability and offers hope to victims of these grave crimes. International courts must always remain independent and free from political influence and coercion. This guarantees their impartiality and ensure fair proceedings. Yet, in recent years, international law has come under increasing pressure through both direct attacks and the weakening of the commitment to uphold it. It has never been more important than it is today to defend the international rule of law and to continue the pursuit of justice. Even in the most challenging times, the International Criminal Court will remain steadfast in its mission to bring justice to the victims of the most serious crimes of concern to the international community. thanks to the continued support of state parties and civil society and the commitment of its staff, the court is able to continue delivering on its demanding but indispensable mandate. On this International Criminal Justice Day, let us remember that the pursuit of justice is a shared responsibility. Above all, let us remember those who are still waiting for justice for the crimes committed against them.
Okay. So, ngayon, let me just react. Mag-react po ako. Okay, impeachment ni Sara. Nag-speech si Sara isang araw. Ganito lamang po, para maintindihan natin. Yung International Criminal Court po ay binuo yan para yan ay maglilitis ng mga kaso ng mga diktador, mga terorista na mga tao na pumapatay. Ang pagkasala ay 4 na klase lamang. Genocide, yung pagpatay ng lahi. Tapos, war crimes, yun yung kasalanan kung may gera, sumuko ng kalaban mo, hindi mo siya pwede patayin. Crime of aggression. Ang aggression po yung lumulusob, kagaya ng ginawa ng Russia sa Ukraine. Pero tataka ka, bakit hindi nila kaya kasuhan yan? Pagkatapos, ang panghuling krimen na sakop nito ay yung krimen ng against humanity. Pag against humanity, yan po yung mga karubalduman na krimen na pagpatay ng tao na ibig sabihin po, pwede mo naman siyang patayin sa ganitong pamamaraan ng o kung patay na hindi murder, kumbaga disgrasya o whatever, pero pinatay mo pa murder. So, iyan ang inaakusa kay Digong Duterte. Marami daw siyang pinatay. Akusasyon na kwento. Mabot na 30,000. Wow! Sabi na Tony Bombitawat. Wow! 30,000? Di ko maniwala dyan. Imagine mo, buong Philippine Arena ng Iglesia ni Cristo, pupunuin mo ng tao. Yan, ganun karami pinatay ni Digong Duterte. Ngayon, may ibang report. Yung police may official report na nasa 5,000, 6,000 lang. Medyo kapanipaniwala yung report na 6,000. Pero malaki pa rin. So ngayon, sabihin na natin na may dapat bang sasagutin si Duterte. Okay, ito ngayon. Ang reklamo ng Amerika, masyado silang pakialamero ang ICC na kumbaga binibigyan nila kahulugan ng kanilang kapangyarihan na kahit yung mga bagay na hindi nasakop ay sinasakop nila. Hindi na sumusunod sa prinsipyo ng international law ang ICC sapagkat ito ay nagkukuha ng jurisdiksyon sa kahit anong kaso, kahit na yung bansa na kung saan ang tao ay mamamayan ay hindi nakasapi sa international law, sa ICC. O gaya ng pinupoint out nila, si Putin, Russia, hindi member. Bakit may warrant of arrest? Kasama ni Putin yung assistant niya na babae, may warrant of arrest. Ang kasalanan ko nila, yung pagbitbit ng mga bata mula sa Ukraine papunta sa Russia. Tapos tingnan mo yung si Secretary, si Minister Galant at saka yung boss niya na si Prime Minister Netanyahu ng Israel. Sila ay pinalabasan ng tinatawag na warrant of arrest. At ang kasalanang binanat sa kanila ay genocide. Siyempre, marami silang mga napatay na mga Palestino. So, kumbaga, tinitingnan ng ICC yung mga namatay at ang ginawa ng Israel bilang isang genocide. Ngayon, huwag po natin pag-usapan kung gaano karumal-dumal ang krimen. Pag-usapan natin kung tama ba ang ginawa ng ICC sa pagsasabi kung may jurisdiction pa sila. Of course, tinatayuan ng Amerika na walang jurisdiction ang ICC sa pag-imbestiga sa mga American forces sa Afghanistan. Wala nang jurisdiction ang ICC sa kanilang mga tauhan sa Amerika na mga kinakasuhan. At hindi member ng ICC ang United States of America. Sa pinakapuntos dito ni Trump ay basta hindi member ang bansa, wag mong panghimasukan. Ang problema, na-cite po ang pangalan ni Digong Duterte na inaargumento na isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit ayaw ng Amerika, na kung bakit niratsada nila ng husto ang ICC. Kasama sa diskusyon yung pagsakop nila kay Duterte. Kasi kung tanungin mo ako, tanungin mong ibang mga napakaraming mga legal experts, hindi na po kasapi ang Pilipinas sa ICC. Bakit pa kayo nananakop na magsasampa ng kaso laban sa mga mamamayan ng Pilipinas? Ayan ang argumento ni Trump. Delikado itong grupong ito. Wala kang baril ito, pero sabi na. Kaya, niratsada na ngayon ni Trump ang kampanya laban sa ICC. So pakinggan natin itong ang unang pagratsada nila. Tinuloy talaga ng Amerika at Israel na matanggal talaga si Karim Khan bilang chief prosecutor. At ang niratsada lang akusasyon na si Karim Khan na siyang umakusa kay Duterte ay ito ngayon. Kinasuhan din ng child abuse yung si Katihan. Hindi child abuse, si Karim Khan. Ito po ang natin. Pakinggan, tingnan natin po. Share the screen. Ito po yung babaeng ito, pakita ko sa iyo, ay magandang abogada. Ito po ang umakusa kay Karim Khan na pinus ng US na matanggal si Karim Khan bilang prosecutor. Kasi si Karim Khan din ang nag-diskarte laban kay Duterte. Galit din sa kanya si Trump kaya natanggal siya. Yan. Ito po yung babae na ito ang dahilan. Umakusa siya na mayroong sexual abuse ginawa laban sa kanya si prosecutor Karim Khan. Sara din ang pangalan ng staff ng ICC. Yan.
I will give you two examples. One is there was a point in time when I said to Mr. Khan that if this continued, I was afraid that I might do something to myself.
So you had suicidal thoughts?
I never used that word internally, but I just couldn't do it anymore. And Mr. Khan understood fully. He was actually very kind at that moment, and he said, I would never want you to harm yourself. And he stopped.
So kita nyo, pinapakita ko lang kung gaano kaganda yung babae na inaakusa, nagamit ng Amerika na akusahan si Karim Khan para matanggal si Karim Khan. Si Karim Khan kasi po ang dahilan kung bakit nakasuhan si Netanyahu. So galit-galit si Trump kay Karim Khan. Pakinggan natin.
Court has removed its chief prosecutor, Karim Khan, after member states voted that he'd committed serious misconduct and a serious breach of duty. The decision follows allegations of sexual misconduct, which Khan denied, But it also comes against the backdrop of intense controversy surrounding his decision to seek arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. Before the vote, UK Lawyers for Israel urged the UK government to support Khan's removal, but its criticism went well beyond the misconduct allegations. UK LFI argued that Khan abandoned fundamental legal duties under the Rome Statute when pursuing the case against Israeli leaders, and that those actions caused serious damage to the credibility of the International Criminal Court. Joining me to discuss what happened, why Karim Khan was removed,
Okay.
and what it means for the ICC's handling of Israel,
Pakinggan
is
natin yan.
UKLFI Charitable Trust Legal Director Natasha Hausdorff. Natasha, let's start with the news itself. Karim Khan has now been removed from office after the Assembly of States parties found that he'd committed serious misconduct and a serious breach of duty. What exactly happened, and why is this such a significant moment?
Pasensya na nawala ko ha. Ah, ito po, ipakita ko sa inyo yung isang salita dito na si Duterte na pasama na. Sinama ang kaso ni Duterte na ginamit na dahilan para sa argumento na overreaching, over ang ginagawa ng ICC. Wala na sanang jurisdiction ang ICC sa Pilipinas. Pinilit pa.
Most of those cases were referred to the court by the countries in Africa that were involved, and the court, and there were serious crimes being committed in Uganda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Mali, Kenya, elsewhere, and so the court gravitated towards those countries. This was not because of a neo-colonial agenda. This was out of a concern for victims in those countries who were being victimized by these grave crimes. And the court has now, it has brought cases in other parts of the world. Currently has a case against Rodrigo Duterte, the former president of the Philippines. It has, of course, brought arrest warrants in Ukraine and also in the Palestine case. So that was an early criticism. I don't think it was justified, and it's been overtaken now by events.
Another criticism is that the court lacks universal jurisdiction.
Yan! Nagkaroon na silang universal jurisdiction na kahit sino-sino ang titirahin nila. Ngayon, ito, gusto ko ipakita sa inyo ang pinaka-latest na discussion sa mga kilala na mga komentarista sa Japan. Kasi Japan po ang pinakamalaking bigay na contribution sa ICC para mabuhay ang ICC. So, ang presidente pa ngayon ng ICC ay Japanese. Si Tomoko Akane. So, pakinggan natin ito. Ito yung mga NHK. Kilala ito sa Amerika.
The International Criminal Court is where people accused of the most serious crimes stand trial.
That's right, but leaders in the United States
want
it dismantled by any means necessary. State Department officials recently said they may pressure other countries to pull out of and stop funding the ICC. They claim the court poses a threat to U.S. sovereignty. Secretary of State Marco Rubio wrote an opinion piece in the Wall Street Journal. He says the United States will dismantle the ICC using all the tools at the government's disposal and work with all like-minded allies if necessary. The ICC is based in The Hague and has more than 120 members, including Japan. The court investigates and prosecutes people accused of war crimes and genocide, including national leaders. ICC President Akane Tomoko recently struck a defiant tone despite the pressure.
International courts must always remain independent and free from political influence and coercion. Yet, in recent years, international law has come under increasing pressure through both direct attacks and the weakening of the commitment to uphold it.
Akane vows to continue the pursuit of justice, and she says the ICC will stick to its mission even in the most challenging times.
So, ganun.
For more, we're joined by NHK senior commentator Kamoshida Go. He's been covering major international institutions for decades. So, Go, why do officials in Washington have the ICC in their crosshairs?
Well, their hostile stance partly stems from concern about U.S. troops possibly being accused of war crimes. And the antagonism intensified after the ICC issued an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a close U.S. ally.
Okay, so that the U.S. Secretary of State even vowed to work with allies against the ICC. So that was so strong words, but how?
Well, Rubio's words were strong, especially because he's seen as one of the administration's more pragmatic figures. In that respect, it's fair to assume his comments were more than mere rhetoric. And Rubio's tone suggests Washington may implement hardline measures against the ICC, such as stronger sanctions. And the US may also pressure member states to withdraw from the ICC.
So, Go, how will the ICC respond?
Well, the court views this situation with profound concern. The ICC has faced all sorts of pressure tactics from the US in the past, but Washington's vow to dismantle the court is unprecedented. There are now fears about ICC personnel facing entry restriction into the US, and also disruption to the court's money transaction via US banks.
Right, and so how is the international community reacting?
Well, Washington's pressure is widely viewed as a threat to the international legal order. Strong opposition has emerged, especially in Europe. The ICC was established after decades of discussions. The court aimed to prevent crimes against humanity, such as the Holocaust. Many European nations see the ICC as a fundamental pillar of the global community. Their leaders say they will do whatever it takes to protect the court. On the other hand, Russia and Israel have been relatively quiet. Both countries have had serious disagreements with the ICC. And it's easy to imagine their leaders welcoming the Trump administration's hardline stance. Russian President Vladimir Putin, by the way, is also subject to an ICC arrest warrant.
Mm-hmm. And what position is Japan taking? After all, Tokyo and Washington are close allies.
Well, Japan's foreign policy places strong emphasis on the rule of law. The ICC's President Akane Tomoko is also Japanese. What's more, Japan is the largest financial contributor among the member states, providing more than 15% of the court's budget. But if the Trump administration ramps up the pressure even more, Japan will be in a tricky situation and would likely be one of the first member states to come under the spotlight. Well, the key question would be whether Japan can maintain a firm commitment to the ICC. The country's response will be closely watched, not only domestically, but also around the world.
Let the evidence speak. Hawak na ng Senate Impeachment Court ang tax records ni VP Sara at ng asawa niyang si Attorney Man Scarpio. Yan ang agenda report ni Hannah T. live mula sa Senado. Hannah, so ibig sabihin, aprobado ni PBBM yung paglalabas ng mga dokumento.
Yes, Pinky. Sabi ng Malacanang, sinusunod lang daw ng Pangulo ang proseso. At as of 4 p.m. this afternoon, dumadaan sa highly meticulous at secure na inventory ang mga dokumentong natanggap ng Senate Impeachment Court. May go signal ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ang pagpapadala ng financial records ni VP Sara sa Senate Impeachment Court. Nag-comply kasi ang BIR sa sabina ng korte nang isumite nito ngayong araw ang hinihinging mga dokumento ng bise, pati ang sa kanyang asawang si Attorney Man Scarpio.
Kung ano ang sinasabi ng batas, kung ano ang proseso, susunod po ang Pangulo.
Agipikto. So anyway, what is important is they are now under fire. So magbubumirang ito kay Bongbong Marcos. Kasi natandaan ninyo si Marco Rubio ay pumunta rito sa Pilipinas. Ang mission nun ay para talian si Marcos. Umayaw-ayaw pata. Kaya ang nangyari, sinampalan tayo ng isang mataas na buwis para sa ating mga export doon papunta sa Amerika. 12.5%. Yan po ang nangyari sa atin. So ibig sabihin po, ang mga ito, dapat po tayo ay nagiging political neutral sa larangan ng mundo. Ang masama dito kay BBM, pinutbol pa niya. Kung ako si BBM ang gagawin ko lang, maghanda lang ko ng investigasyon at kasuhan si Duterte dito sa Pilipinas. Yan po ang problema nila. Hindi nila na-anticipate na ganun pala katindi ang pagkontra. LC Saavedra, good morning. Sino pa si Leap mo? Hello. Okay. So, ngayon, yan lang po, hanggang dyan lang po ating ngayon vlog para sa dito sa kaso ito. Ang ICC ay under fire. Lalo ginagamit po na isang argumento ang panghimasok nila na wala na silang jurisdiction, pinipilit pa rin nila na magsasabi na may jurisdiction sila. Sa sitwasyon ng Pilipinas, ang Pilipinas po ay matagal nang wala sa ICC. Pero pinihit ang kaso. Na kahit sa batas mismo ng ICC, ang preliminary examination ng tinutukoy nila na pwede pa rin daw. Ang problema, yung preliminary examination, kung yan pagbabasyan mo, kahit mamatay na tayong lahat, mayroon pa rin jurisdiction ng ICC sa Pilipinas, which is not a good argument. Ang tawag namin dyan is awkward. So kung pag-awkward ay hindi na kinagaling sa Pilipinas na prinsipyo sa batas. Kaya nagalit tuloy si Trump sa kanila. Imbestigahan lang mga sundalo ng Amerikano doon sa Afghanistan. Nagalit din si Putin sa kanila. Ibig sabihin po, ang leksyon na sa buhay dito, kapag international law ang pag-usapan, ang basic ay yung consent o pagpayag ng bansa na magpapasako. Yun po ang concept dyan. So hanggang dyan, maraming salamat po sa ating lahat.